And greetings YouTube gamers, welcome to another episode of Retro Raider. My name is Johnny Retro and welcome to the channel. So today I'm here to show you guys my custom built Consolized Neo Geo MVS, but before I show you my Neo Geo, I want to tell you a little bit of my background with SNK and what different platforms do you have to experience and collect for this beautiful system. Now, the Neo Geo was not a huge success in Europe, and to be honest with you, I don't think it was ever released here in Portugal, but I did play a couple of Neo Geo games back in the day on the arcades. Games like The King of Fighters, Samurai Showdown, and a personal favorite of mine, the arcade hit, Metal Slug. I didn't know there was a home console version of Neo Geo until I started collecting retro games, and as soon as I discovered the price of it, that made me back off immediately. Now, essentially there are three different ways to play and collect for the Neo Geo. So you have the home console, which is the Neo Geo AES, and that stands for Advanced Entertainment System. Now, the problem with collecting for the AES is the price. The system alone in current market goes for about 300 euros, and the games can go up to hundreds, even thousands of euros. So if you have the buck to invest on it, it's probably the best choice, but me personally, I don't have the wallet for that. Now, another option that you have is to invest on an actual arcade unit, which is the Neo Geo MVS, which stands for Multi-Video System. Now, although the games are much cheaper than the home version, the problem that I find with that is that you need to get an actual arcade unit, and they are not easy to find, and I don't know about you, but me personally, I don't have that space in my game room. Now, there is a third option, which is the Neo Geo CD, and the Neo Geo CD is another home console, but like the name says, it is CD-based, not cartridges. Now, from the three different options, it's definitely the cheapest one to collect for, but the problem with the Neo Geo CD is that since it is a disc-based system, the chances of getting one that doesn't work properly are very high. And another problem with the Neo Geo CD, it's actually the loading times. The loading times of the games are huge. Now, there is another version of the Neo Geo CD called the Neo Geo CDZ. And it processes the games much faster. The loading times is not that bad, but I guess that by now you already guessed it. It is a rare system and it's very expensive to get. So luckily enough, last year I found a guy in Spain that built this beautiful system for me. So what this is pretty much is a motherboard from the arcade, the Neo Geo MVS, but is modded to be played on TVs. So let's take a closer look at my Neo Geo right after this. And here we are again, guys, so let's take a closer look of the system, shall we? Now, like I mentioned before, this is a motherboard of the original Neo Geo arcade unit, the MVS, but it was modded to be played on televisions. This part right here was actually hand-painted, because from what I understand, the motherboard was not in a very nice shape, but the guy fixed that. So you have the MVS logo right here, and you also have the SNK logo on the top. On the front, you have two controller ports, player 1, player 2, and these are actually compatible with the original AES arcade sticks, also the Neo Geo CD controllers, but I don't have those yet. I should, but they're on my wishing list. But I will show you later what do I use to play this system. Right here you have two buttons, one is for credits and the other one was a pause button that the guy installed, which is very handy while you're playing it. And these were actually printed with a professional 3D printer. So let's take a closer look at the back. This is where you plug your power supply, this is where you plug your TV cable via SCART, and this actually is modded to be presented in perfect RGB, which is really cool. This one here is the on-off switch, and this one is a little surprise that I will show you later. On the base you have a acrylic tray that the guy installed to give some protection, And there's actually another acrylic tray on the top of the motherboard for a very nice effect that I will show you right now. Now, you're probably wondering, why did I turn off the lights? Well, because of this. I mean, how cool is that? So like I mentioned before, I still don't have a official Neo Geo controller, but let me show you what do I use to play. So this is a standard SNES controller that a guy modded to be played on Neo Geo. And for some reason I think that he broke the D-pad and reprinted it in green for some reason, but I'm okay with that. But this is actually my second controller, because my main controller is this beast right here. So I think this was a third-party Genesis slash Mega Drive controller, I think, called the Compendium Pro PC100, but the guy mapped these to Neo Geo games, and he had two extra buttons. One is for pause, so now I can pause the games on the system and the controller, and the other one is a credit button, which is really, really cool. And of course that they changed the pins to Neo Geo formats. And the cool thing is that if anywhere near the future I get a Neo Geo AES, I can use these as controllers as well, which is very, very cool. Now let me show you what do I play on the system. Now this is a MVS cartridge. This is actually Breakers. This is the Japanese version, but the system is region free. Just in comparison, let me show you how big this is. I mean, this is a Super Nintendo cartridge. This is humongous, but I also want to show you this. This is a official Neo Geo AES game. This is R Fighting, and the cartridge is very similar to the MVS, very similar in size. But I must say that, you know, these are not compatible, so you can't play AES cards on MVS, and you can't play MVS cards on AES. So another comparison with a Super Nintendo cartridge, which is very, very tiny. But yeah, and you're wondering, well, you do have AES games. Well, I don't. I mean, I have, but I don't, because I'm actually a reseller of video games, of retro video games, and this is actually for sale. That's why I have it. Now, this is what I use for my main gameplay. This is a multi-card called a Multi-Game 161 in 1, also known as the Banana cartridge. Now, you're probably thinking, well, this is a bootleg, this is not legit, and you're right, but you have to keep in mind that I really don't have the budget to invest in MVS cards, and with this, you know, although it's not technically 161 games because you have a lot of hacks and stuff like that, but I'm pretty happy with it because it is not emulation. I'm playing the actual ROMs on the actual system, so I can't ask for much more than that. And but I must tell you this is actually a little bit expensive, but I got lucky on an auction, so I paid about half of the price that it costs. And here we are again, guys. Now let me say this before I continue. I know that it's very, very lame and unprofessional to stick the camera in front of the TV to show gameplay footage, but I don't have any other way to capture gameplay from my Neo Geo MVS, so bear with me on this one. So what I'm going to do is to run a couple of games that are my personal favorites on the system, so hope you enjoy it. Garrow Mark of the Wolves. This is one of the best good-looking games on the system, and one of the most expensive as well. And I just suck on this game. Hit the guy, hit the guy. And I lost. Samurai Showdown 2, one of my favorites. I used to play this back in the arcade. Most of the Neo Geo games were actually fighting games. But I love fighting games, so I'm very okay with that. See, I'm adding credits right now. And I'm also going to lose this one. Please don't judge me. Yeah, see right here, this is the, how do you say, the Unibias cheap menu. So I can add sheets, I can save, make saves, etc. It's very, very cool. This is another personal favorite of mine. Metal Slug X, yeah. This is my favorite Metal Slug of the series, and another very, very expensive game on the original AES. But the cool thing about my system is that, you know, it really feels like the arcade experience at home. And that was what I was looking for. I love Metal Slug. And that is pretty much it, guys, but let me tell you something before I end this video. Now, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here, because there are actually a couple of companies that build Neo Geo MVSs in console format. But the unique thing about this is that this was built for me, and I feel like I have a unique piece in my collection, and it's definitely a jewel for me. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comment section below if you're a Neo Geo collector and what do you think about the Neo Geo as a whole. Don't forget to put a like on this video, please subscribe to the channel, and take care of yourselves, take care of the gaming community, and game a lot.